The stream is live.
Oh, it says does it say you were live on yours?
Yeah.
Okay. It said we're live. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. Just, if you have a delay, I have terrible internet, so it might get glitchy.
Okay.
And like I said, I sat on my glasses this morning. So I got an old pair on and they're really wonky and they're not as strong. So look at how wonky they are. Good Lord.
Oh no.
And I always have a problem anyway. So, okay, let me make sure I got everything right.
I have nothing in my teeth. Let me see if I got everything.
Let's see.
I'm good.
Oh my God.
What?
Thank you. Sheila. Is that her name?
Where, when, where, hi, who, what, where?
Can you see it on your end?
No.
On the chat?
Are you here? I want to do my Sheila dance. Woohoo! Sheila's here. Laugh lines, life lessons.
Oh my God. I have loved you from the beginning, Sheila. You're amazing. Absolutely amazing. But I don't know what I'm doing. So let's see. You can't see the comments, just it says
right
show
comments. I can't see
here,
the
let
comments.
Me click a button here and see if I can figure it out. Okay, continue. Oh my God, it's taken me out of it. You're going to end up doing this by yourself.
Oh, wow.
I'll be somewhere else. Oh, it wants me to upgrade. Yeah, that's not happening. Not right now.
Oh, no. Oh, that's why.
Yeah. Well, let me go back. Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh my God.
I've got my excited coffee cup.
Elvira? Elvira. Is that how you pronounce your name? Elvira? Elvira?
Elvira.
Good Lord. I am.
So, should we?
Ridiculous. Okay, well, let's get started.
Okay.
This is my good friend, Diana. I am so proud of her. She has launched her own channel. And you've changed the name recently. What did you go? It was Cassandra's sister.
Yes, I changed it to Lonely in Truth.
So it encompasses more. It's not just
everything. Yeah.
Right. You're
and is Sheila still here? Because she helped me with that name to get back to that name. So
I like it.
Really appreciate that. Yeah. It's what I had in the first place. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid. No, but anyway, she deals with dysfunctional relationships and a lot of things. And your first book that I read, which is how we actually met each other and got to know each other. Yes.
Yeah.
Lonely in Love, which that was dealing with partners on the spectrum, which you are very knowledgeable about, and you opened my eyes to a lot of things. And then you're currently writing, I know you have another book, but you're also writing a book on caregiving, correct?
Yes, I'm having Lonely in Truth, which is a Cassandra syndrome. That's why I had the name Cassandra's sister, because Cassandra syndrome is basically not being believed in your neurodiverse relationship and what happens behind closed doors. And so my next one, Lonely in Family, I'm keeping with the lonely thing. Lonely in Family would be just simply families in general, because things happen when you're caregiving, when you're in a neurodiverse relationship. Your family can break apart, or mine didn't get closer, but sometimes get closer because you go through hard times, all of that, and why we act the way we do when we love the person and we pull back, and just all of that craziness, because we know how to push each other's buttons. We know too much about each other.
Right.
And we're a lot alike too. So the things we don't like about each other, we might just throw that onto our, family member. So
Right. Well, I wanted to talk about that aspect, the caregiving aspect, because I know a lot of women in our age group, you're younger than me, but women, 40s, 50s, 60s, find themselves being caregivers, not only for family members like an aging parent or sibling, but sometimes for their partners. I get a lot of comments from people that find themselves taking care of a partner, an aging partner, or they're not even really that much older, but sometimes they get sick and
Mhm.
they weren't expecting it. It's a
Yeah.
totally unexpected
Oh,
role, and you have to pivot. And that's, a lot of people don't know how to do that. They're like at a loss. They're like, I didn't sign up for this. You
yeah.
know, I
It's
didn't sign up to be a caregiver.
And it's like you're reading my mind, because on top of, since I'm in a neurodiverse relationship, I feel like a caregiver sometimes. I hold the emotional weight, and he kind of takes care of me. We're kind of back and forth. But there is something going on I haven't even told you yet. It's like you're reading my
No,
mind, that I feel like there's something more happening, and I may have to be more of a caregiver to my partner. We don't know yet. It's just this next change. When I moved, there was a lot of difference happening, and I could tell he was even feeling it. So we got to kind of go to the doctor and just see it could just be, I don't know, you get older, you need medication. It
right?
could be high blood pressure, it could be all kinds of things. I hope it's not mental. I need some mental help.
Is he aware? Is he
But
aware that
he,
there's some
he
issues?
seems to be, but not really. We
Hi,
haven't really gotten
Catherine.
down to it. So
I'm going to
yeah,
say hi
but
to
yeah.
people as they come in, Mary and
Okay.
Catherine.
So that happens when, life happens.
Exactly. And we don't necessarily, not everybody's cut out to be a caregiver. And a lot of people act like, oh my God, how can you not be there for your partner or spouse? And
Yeah. Yeah.
especially men. Women tend to be more nurturing. It's kind of easier, not always,
Yeah.
to fill that role, but when it's
Right.
reversed, when the man finds himself having to be a caregiver for his spouse or even an aging parent, it seems to be a little more difficult
Yeah.
for them. I wish we had more men in the groups, because I'd love to hear from them.
I know. I know.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in that position. I was a caregiver for my mom
Mhm.
because she
Mhm.
had
Mhm.
cancer. It was brief. She was 3 months. But my
Mm.
sister, on the other hand, I took care of her for 7 years,
Yeah.
and she
Right.
had rhabdomyolysis, and then she had dementia, and she was already mentally and physically handicapped. So when I took on that role, it was at the beginning when she was somewhat healthy, and then she just got progressively worse. That's not
Mhm.
what I signed up for, but I couldn't quit.
Mhm.
There was
Mhm.
nothing to be done. It was not like I'm going to ship her off into a home. It was like I had no choice at that point.
Yeah.
I had to quit my job. I couldn't work
Right.
anymore. That's how this all came about.
Right.
So I
Right.
ended up staying home. I didn't realize that I would be out of the workforce for 7 years taking care of her, but there was no other option. And
Yeah.
I would do it again, of course,
Yeah.
but it
And
changed my
someone.
whole life.
Yeah.
It changed my whole life because we were on course to retire and things were good. We had money in the
Mm.
bank. I'm working, he's working. Things were going really well. And then this happened and it just threw us off course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm not working and I'm staying home. I'm taking care of her. I
Right.
couldn't go anywhere. He was traveling. We were at that point where we were just starting to travel. And all of a sudden I couldn't go. I couldn't get a respite nurse.
Yeah.
And I wasn't
I,
going to keep him from traveling. So, I
right.
let him, he would go. I didn't let him. He went.
Right. Right. I know.
But
I
he was
remember
really
a
fun.
party I had over there years ago, and something
Right,
happened with
right.
your sister and you had to just go. And some people would say, well, wait, why can't you get assistance, or why can't you? The struggle that goes on so my parents, I was going through a divorce at the same time when my parents got gravely ill, both of them. I had to put them in a facility. I ended up working more, keeping on top of that facility to make sure stuff was stolen stuff. And I hate to
Oh,
talk
sure.
ill of any facility, but when there's low money, when all of that really plays a part, because and I found myself calls every single day with stuff that people didn't understand what was going on with my parents. I did. And I felt the only one. And I'm sure you felt that way with your
Yeah.
sister, that, I'm really the only one that can take proper care of her. That's why you're
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
I'm sure I was the
Right.
only one to do it. I had to do it. And that's just the truth of it. We don't have good care for our elderly. I don't know if it's getting better. I know
Right.
that we have a sandwich generation now.
Yeah. That's
So
what they call it. I saw that.
we have not only the kids coming back because there's no jobs, we've got our
Right.
parents we're taking care of. And it is around our age group. My mom was in her 40s when she had me, so I kind of went through this in my 30s. But usually my age group, we have to take care of our folks.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's becoming more and more common, especially with the economy and stuff. Not everybody can afford to be in a nice assisted living program,
No.
so they're moving in with their kids, and maybe when they move in with their kids, they're healthy, but they're older, so their health is going to decline as they're living with their kids. And at some point, their kids may find out that they have to assist their parents, and
it's the whole family thing. And we're
Yeah.
such a lonely people. We're not, let's say that different. My
I know
whole
what
thing
you're
is
saying.
lonely. But we're so individual. We don't
Right.
have that just family where you just do it. And what I heard a lot was, well, it's your parents. They took care when I was taking care of my parents. It's your parents. They took care of you. You need to take care of them. They took care of me when I was growing up. I'm taking care of them when they're dying. It's different.
Right.
It's hard.
Right.
You need help. You need support. And it just doesn't seem available. There wasn't, I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have it. There's so much more connection now we can do online to get help.
Isn't that a tremendous help? My God.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's a game changer where I am speaking from really not having anything. I didn't know how to text message back then.
I'm a dinosaur.
It was 80, 88. No. Oh, I don't know. It was 100 years ago. So, yeah, it's
well, and then there's like I said, we took care of family members, but people that have to take care of a spouse or a partner, I think that would be even more difficult. I honestly do. Hi, George. My little brother George is here. And I think that would be more difficult, and my husband and I talk about that. We've been together for 43 years. And, it's inevitable. We're going to age, right? One of us is going to age faster than the other. And, one of us has to be prepared to take care of the other one. We've talked about the what ifs. What if, I get sick or I get dementia, and I always say, put me home. I don't want you having to take care of me, but I don't really think I would want to be in a home. I would, but you can't expect your partner just because, you're married to take care of you, because it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I don't think people even realize. When I was taking care of my mom, it wasn't as difficult because it was for a few months. But with my sister, because she had dementia, she became like a child. I was taking care of an adult-sized child, and then she got to the point where she was incontinent and she's in diapers, and that happens with dementia. And I don't know if I'd be prepared to do that with my partner. It's a whole different dynamic.
I think it's so very important to plan when you're in your right mind, because this didn't happen with my parents. That's how we lost everything. We didn't have the money. I had to put my mom in a home assisted that was $4,000 a month, and it drained everything. Because she got really bad where she almost burned down the house. I'll just say that. It was really, really hard. We couldn't take care of it.
Right.
So there's those situations that come up that you need to plan. I remember just begging my family about this, to plan when you're in your right mind, like right now. And I even talked to my person about that. He only sees right now and today with the autism. It's really hard for him. So for me, it's a very unique situation.
Right.
For me,
because I can't.
Because I know right now he cannot take care of me.
No.
So I have to make plans already to say, hey, and I'm still working on that. I don't have family and all that, but we'll get off of my craziness. But it's really important. Can your spouse even take care of you? Do they have the mental capacity to take care of you, especially for women? And to really start looking at family members that will do it, like have something signed, have money set aside, have something ready, because a lot of the time we can't put them in our home and take care of them. It is so difficult. Your whole life was basically put on hold. And I've heard you have one of the hard stories, and then other, losing their business and losing work. And because the whole world is the person they're taking care of. And I've even told my partner a few times, I feel like I'm taking care of him now, just from the autism and getting older and not being diagnosed young, that I really can't work. I have so much on my plate, just keeping the household calm. So if you're just It's
Well,
it's really tough.
before I even took care of my sister, I have 7 other siblings, and we had all
Okay.
agreed to take turns with her when our mom passed
Mm,
27 years ago, and everybody took a turn. And I knew eventually it was going to get to me. I'm the youngest daughter. I have a brother that's younger than me, but it was working its way down. She'd been with
okay.
different family members, and I could see it was coming up to be my turn. And I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, no, I can't." I was honest. Everybody knew that. I was like, I don't think I can do it, you guys. I'm sorry. I got a career. I'm working. I'm raising
Right.
kids. I live in a 2-story house. I had a million excuses. But
Yeah.
finally, it got to the point where there was no other choice. My other sister, who was taking care of her, she was
Yeah.
getting sick, and they were only
Right.
like a year apart. They're
Right.
10 years older than me. So she was older, and it was getting increasingly difficult. And my brothers had already had her. My other brother lived, in Nebraska. He couldn't take her. So it was me. And I was petrified.
Oh,
And that
God.
was when she was still mobile. This was
Yeah.
back when she was still
I
somewhat
remember.
mobile.
I
Remember?
remember
Yeah.
your
And I
sister. She's
still,
so sweet. Yeah.
she was. And I'm thankful that I got the opportunity. I realized I could do it, and I was able to do it. And I learned a lot about myself, but it
Mhm.
changed the whole direction of our life. And my husband
Yeah.
was very supportive. If you don't have a supportive spouse, that makes a huge difference. But he was very supportive because, like I said, I couldn't work anymore.
Yeah.
But I just assumed, oh, as soon as things are good, I'll go back to work. Everything's going to be peachy. Little did I know, we were going to have the lockdown and the
I know.
economy changed. And I got older. I hadn't been working for 7 years. I tried to go back to work, and it was, well, I'm doing
And then
Uber.
you also got sick. And I
Very
wanted
sick.
to talk about caregivers many of the time get
Oh, that
sick,
was the
probably
worst one.
80%.
One
And
time while I was sick, I had to go to the ER, and they wanted me to stay. I was that sick, and I was like, I can't stay. I got to take care of my sister. And they were fighting with my daughter. They're like, she doesn't understand how sick she is. She needs to stay. And my daughter was like, Mom, I'll stay home from work, because she's working. She's a social worker. She's like, Mom, I'll
yeah,
stay home. I was like, no, you're not gonna stay home, lose your job. This is my responsibility. I'll just have to take care of her. So I went
yeah,
home and I took care of her, and I got increasingly sicker. I mean, I was at death's door. But I had to take care of her. It was all I could do. I would get up, I would take care of her, and then I would go back to bed.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she passed away 2 days before my daughter moved out. My daughter was living with me, which, she was living with me, and she'd already, she was going to be moving up north, and
Right.
it was already planned. So, but 2 days unexpectedly, my sister just took a decline, with their dementia, and she was gone that quick. And then,
Wow.
2 days later, my daughter, my only daughter, my best friend, she
Yeah.
moves, and I'm so sick. I was so sick, I couldn't even take care of myself. And but I did. Things
Mhm.
turned around. You know what happened. But yeah,
Yeah.
just being a caregiver, though, I found a strength that I didn't know that I had, or I was capable of, because
Mhm. Mhm.
I didn't think I had it in me. Some people are just in natural nurturers, and I thought
Yeah.
that's not me. I'm
Well,
sorry.
when you're forced to do it, it's funny. My whole life, I've been a caregiver. I work with special needs kids, and I'm not. I constantly say, I am not a caregiver.
Right? And there you
You're
are.
me
Yep.
already. Just kidding. But you kind of just do it,
Yeah,
and
sometimes you just
you have
have
to.
to do it. You have no choice.
Yeah.
And we had no choice. She would have had to go into one of the worst homes ever. She had no money. She was on
That's the thing.
SSI because she was
Uh-huh. Mhm.
handicapped. That was all she got.
I had to fight. I had to wish for my dad to be sicker in order to get care that he needed, that was proper care in a very nice, right at the end, a very nice caregiving facility, a 4-star, right next to the main hospital. It was glorious, but it took the stuff I had to go through, the hoops I had to go through for
Well, I can
years.
imagine.
And the thing is, I even had, and I don't know, this gets a little, I hope I can say this. Um, it was somebody from social work or something just said to not say that my dad had, that he had this really derelict block of buildings, and just don't say he has any of that. So you can get this care. Like, And at the time, I can't lie or what, that's too scary. It was just
Right,
this
right.
strange feeling. Ooh, what note did we get?
I'm just,
Did we get a note? Facility of people that can step back and go home. I'm
yeah,
not sure.
exactly. Those people get to go home. We don't when they're living with
Exactly.
us. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we
That's so
can't put
true.
it on hold. It's full time. Like
It's
for
not,
you, it
and
was
their
full life.
family. And their family. It's a whole nother level when it's family. You
Right.
have, when someone gets older too or sick, a lot of their stuff they didn't handle will come up. My dad started to say that I was stealing stuff from him, or there might be a delusion, there might be dementia, there might be things that come up that
Right.
make you as the caregiver the enemy because you're the one right there. And family needs to be on board with that. And that's what kind of happens with family. So for me, I had family believe him that I was stealing stuff and never came to me about it because they
Right.
just didn't see. They were in denial that he was sick. Both of my parents were kind of the what is it? My mom led all the parties and they were just kind of the people in my family
Like
that
my mom, the matriarch, and she was, yeah.
matriarch and patriarch. And my dad was just always a strong, headstrong, and they believed it because they just didn't know who I was. Like all of a sudden, this only brat
Oh,
child is
dementia's
coming in to take care,
horrid.
you know, and the family never really got to be close to me. And it's just a whole long thing. Who knows? I didn't have kids to go to parties, or I was a lot younger than my cousins. Whatever the case is, it's so important to talk to one another, no matter whatever your differences are. Talk, get together, talk,
Communication, right,
make it happen.
right.
And
Sheila said, how do you make sure that you take care of yourself? What did you do?
oh, is that for me or you
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Oh, it's Sheila. Yes. How do you make sure you take care of yourself? Oh,
Because that is so important.
um, you have to get respite, and there are places out there. There are people that can help you. My dad went on hospice long before he died. It was kind of there's a there's a hospice you can get on. Oh, I forget what it is.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Before they're gravely ill, they
Right.
can give you respite. But taking care of yourself. So I went to caregiver groups. Um,
Oh, that was
Even led
smart.
some of the caregiver groups. I ran off to a monastery for 3 months. But really taking care of yourself, I think the day-to-day thing is you have to have those breaks and say and know how to ask for help. And also, I lost my train of thought because it's a
Yeah,
tough
it is
question. We
tough.
forget to
You
take
know,
care of ourselves. What do you
when
think?
it's with family members and you can ask like another family member to come in and sit or something, that's helpful. But can you imagine with a spouse? I think it would be like I said, a totally different dynamic. Um, if I was to take care of my husband, it's not like I'm going to ask one of my siblings to come in, you know, and he doesn't have anybody. So if it ever got to that point, I think that's going to be, I don't even know. I just hope it never comes to that, you know, but we talk about it all the time. We joke about it. We always tease each other. Oh, you're getting dementia and what am I going to do with you? That kind of stuff. But really, you know, it's something that we do talk about. Um, we have kids and I know, you know, everybody's like, oh, well, your kids can do it. I would never do that. My kids have careers. They got families and mortgages. It's like, I'm not going to put that on them. There's no
Yeah.
way, even if they offered, and they do. My kids are great, but I've already told them, no, I wouldn't want you to do that because I know how difficult it is. You know, nobody signs up for that. It happens if you're in the right position at the right time. You know, my kids were raised by the time I took care of my sister. So I was able to do it. But with my mom, I still had three little ones at home when and she got cancer, right? It was an aggressive cancer it was 3 months from the time she was diagnosed. She was with my dad. My dad could not take care of her. And he loved her. It wasn't that he didn't love her, but he could
Oh,
not.
yeah.
He was not a caregiver. And so I just
Right.
said, Dad, let me take her home. Let me just take her to my house. you know. So we set up the hospital bed in the living room. He came over every day to see her, but you know, she was bedridden. But my sister and I switched off. We did 12 and 12. She would come over every day for 12 hours. And then, you know, and she was working. And I had, you know, 3 kids that I was raising. So I did have help with my mom. But back to taking care of a spouse. I hear from people that are taking care of their spouse and they're just at their wits' end. They don't know what to do. There's no money to put them in anywhere. They don't want to abandon them, but they didn't sign up for this. And, you know, some people walk away, and I'm not one, I would never judge anybody for doing that.
No,
imagine if you're not meant to be a caregiver, what good are you? If you're there, but you're not taking good care of the person, you're not doing that.
You know, I struggled with the question of what did I do? Because when I did take care of my parents, I really didn't take care of myself. I went through a divorce at the same time, and I really did lose my identity and who I was. Now, growing up, and now I'm with my partner who I kind of am a caregiver to, I do have outside things. I make sure that I make friendships. I do YouTube. I do things that make you happy, even if it's just sitting outside for 5 minutes to just say, okay, and really check in with yourself where you're at and how your body feels. Because you'll just keep going and going and going and going. And all of a sudden you end up with a horrible illness that now you're forced to be in the doctor, or, you know, and to try to nip that in the bud before that happens. And it really is a daily thing to remember to check in and say, how am I feeling right now? Is my heart racing? Am I And, you know, watching a diet, the thing that I would eat when I'd see my dad, every time I saw my dad, I'd have strawberry cake after.
Comfort food.
Yeah, I would just eat. and what else can happen when you're taking care of somebody? I kind of took on when he was sick and he couldn't eat, then I couldn't eat. So there's these things where you have to step away. You have to get that breathing room, going to caregiver groups, going to anything you can. There were a lot of caregiver groups based around religion. And that was kind of frustrating to me, because at the time and even now, I just wanted someone to listen. But you have to, like everything, you have to find the right therapist for you. You have to find, do we have time for that? It's really hard. It's just a difficult situation all the way around. But knowing how to ask for help and trusting that things won't go the way you want them to go all the time.
Right.
They will go the opposite.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, they talk about caregivers burnout, and that is very real. And the funny thing is, after, you know, my sister passed and I wanted to go back to, I'd been teaching art classes and stuff. I couldn't find a job doing that. And so I went online. I was like, I can't get back into my field. What should I do? And everybody's like, be a caregiver. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Now, I would never do that as a job. I mean, I did it for people I love, but that's not it. And you know, caregivers make nothing. They make minimum wage.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Oh, I know. Absolute angels. These people, because I had, you know, help periodically. I'd get a hospice nurse, and they're special people. And when I found out what they made, I didn't know. You know, they were telling me, I got to be really good friends with one of her caregivers that would come in and she'd help me bathe her. And she's like, oh, we make minimum wage. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's nuts. Absolutely. And she was so gentle. And that was my thing. I wanted somebody to be gentle with her. And she was just patient and kind, because my sister was nonverbal, but she was very expressive with her eyes, you know, and I knew what she needed and wanted. And I wanted somebody else that would connect with her. And I found a few, and I was just sickened though when I found out how little they made. It just broke my heart, because you know, we need more, and especially with the way things are going in the economy, less and less people can afford to be put in homes. They're going to be staying home.
I mean, the main people, the people that take care of another person are paid the less. The teachers and the caregivers, they need to be paid more than the freaking engineers and the road builders. I'm just kidding.
I know, but seriously.
No, they do, because it just, and they look at the job as, oh, it's caregiving. You know, what do? You just give them some food and help them to the restroom. No, it is your whole mental, every part of you is with this
Yeah.
person.
Right.
We made $13.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they make, yeah. It's
And the
so
client was
unfair.
charged 20.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And it is, I don't know.
And
I
so
just
and
came
then
from
you
a,
get people that aren't really good at their job. You get these, because we went
exactly.
through some people that were terrible. I had people
I
like,
know.
I'd go in the room because, I was lucky to get somebody to come in, like maybe once or twice a week and for like 3 hours at a time. So like 6
Uh-huh.
hours a week. And I went through so many nurses, but I'd go in there and they'd be sound asleep. They'd be in her room snoring. And it was like, you're
Unbelievable.
supposed to be her companion. You're supposed, I expected them to,
My
I don't know.
mom's wedding ring was stolen. Her wedding ring was fused with her. My mom was a Catholic nun for 20 years. You know that, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
her nun ring and her wedding ring fused together. It was stolen. Her marquee was stolen. Her teeth were stolen.
that's crazy. And see, and that's why I worried about putting her in a
I
home.
know. I know.
That kind of thing would happen. Not
It's
to mention
really,
just
I wanted to have answers, but now I'm just thinking, gosh, this sucks. There's nothing.
well, but I just wanted people to be aware because
I know.
nobody
I
signs up
know.
to be a caregiver, and it's like
I
it can
know.
happen to anybody, and you have to really,
Yeah.
ask yourself, would you be able to do it if you had to for your spouse? If your spouse got sick today or whatever, would you be a good caregiver? I mean, of course, you do it out of obligation. You love them, but do you understand what all is involved? It's not easy. Like I said, my sister, she was tiny and I had to lift her up and I had to bathe her and you change diapers and clothes. And for the last year, I spoon fed her and even she couldn't even drink. I had to give her liquids out of a syringe. It was very time consuming. It was a lot of work, but it was a labor of love. I absolutely adored my sister and I didn't think about it that way. I just thought I love her and this is what we need to do.
Right.
But what if I couldn't do that? What if
Right.
I wasn't capable, and my partner was in that position? What would I do? Could we afford to hire a live-in nurse? I mean, these are things
We
you have to think about.
we lost both of their homes. We lost the block of buildings. We lost everything taking care of my parents because they didn't prepare. And preparing as far as just having things lined up or selling things ahead of time or
This is my
getting money.
daughter, by the way. She's on her
Oh,
lunch break. Hi,
hello there.
babe. Miss Evelyn. Miss Evelyn. She's the one I was talking about, Britt. She was the angel. She was an absolute, me and my daughter just loved her. We still do. We're still good friends with her. We text with her periodically. We were so blessed to have her, weren't we? She was she'd bring us gifts. She'd bring me and my daughter gifts. She'd bring us food. She was amazing.
See,
She was one in a million and she's still doing it today. She still does it.
good.
But we were so lucky to have her. And but there's not how many did we go through, Britt, to get her? We went through so many. And
Well, not to toot my own horn, because I just worked at a place when I was in Nevada. I worked as a caregiver. I had one client every day, would see her. We became friends. I just love her to pieces. And they didn't vet me well at all. They just I call on the phone. I got the job so easy. And it was just kind of scary. And I was fearful to leave her just because of the amount of care she'd get. And I left all the steps and everything to do. I mean, it was just, I got a little too close. But
yeah,
you
can't help it. They're people. You're going to connect.
And she was all alone. We really had a lot in common. She didn't have kids. She didn't have siblings either. So, but
what do you think? Like you've done it for your parents now, and you loved them. So of course, how much more difficult would it be to take care of your partner?
I have been since I met him. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean like physically ill.
I know. No, physically ill. It does scare me because people still don't understand autism well enough. In someone like my partner, we were never married. he gets very, very short-tempered, the meltdown, everything, because I've already taken him to doctors where the nurses are just fed up and they walk away. And then I try to tell him. And there was an instance where I told a nurse, he's coming here right now. This was when I needed him to pick me up. And it was just as simple as that. But he needs me to be ready right when he gets here because he's very, very stressed. He has autism. She understood immediately. So that was nice. There's more awareness. But I'm thinking when he gets ill, it's a little terrifying. It's just going to be me.
Right.
And I really don't know if I have the energy to do it again. I don't really want to do it again. And it's something that I'm having to come to terms with.
Good position though, because I mean, because your partner is very well off financially, is in a position, but I know how he is with money at the same time. And would he
get name brand everything?
Would he even want to pay? He doesn't think about that.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Getting things in a trust, getting things prepared right away. It took me 5 years. I'm sitting there talking with it's one family member with him, and they just thought I was crazy to talk about, well, I'm not dead yet. I'm not going to. It is absolutely 100%. I feel safe in that I do have a directive that the doctor can talk to me if he gets unable to move or talk or eat but it is in that very severe case. I want something right now. I want something for if there is something mentally going on, what do I do? How can I get monies and financial help? And if you have a partner, a situation or something like mine where they're very resistant, just to have the means yourself to look for support yourself. It's very important. Like right now, I'm just working on as much savings as I can get myself to hire even an attorney, somebody to talk me through the trust, somebody to figure things out. This is so vitally important. I just keep saying it to everybody because we don't want to think about those things, but it helps so much in the long run. And I have seen people where they end up, they don't
get to that point.
Huh?
We're all going to get to that point. I mean, maybe we won't need a caregiver, but we're all going to get older.
If you don't get hit by a bus,
we need assistance. You need to think about that stuff ahead of time. And, do you think your partner would take care of you in the same situation? Or what do you think he'd do?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Would he just kick you to the curb? Or do you think he would? Well, I mean, you got to think about those things. Like with my husband, I know he would want to, but I don't know if he could capable.
Yeah. And I already know that mine's not just from a medical procedure I had. And I do have, like I'd go, what are they, ombudsmans or something? Yeah. I know that if I have a procedure now, that there is assistance that you can get help, you can get care. Like the hospital I was going to, they can have you stay overnight somewhere, and it actually is covered. You have to look into it. But if you're going through either surgery or going through something, there is care. And the reason I resisted it before is I again thought, well, it's going to be more difficult for me. I have to clean the house. I have to make sure they know everything, where everything is. And I have to tell them. And I have, like when you have somebody to come over to clean, but you clean it before they come over. Yes, so you're already exhausted. You're already feeling sick. So right now, when you're well, find out who can take care of you if those things happen and really make it a solid plan. Easier said than done. I still have to do it. I do have some family members. I've already given family members my stuff for after I die.
Oh, really?
That's how extreme I am. Just stuff from my parents or who's that? Hi, Catherine.
That's nice. Yeah, see, and my husband's the same way, Catherine. He's not trained, but he would want me to be home. But it's like, if he could get a nurse to help, because I don't know, because not everybody's a caregiver, not everybody's a nurturer. Doesn't mean they don't love you. I know my husband loves me, but I don't know, is he capable of doing all that I would need? Like what I did for my sister. What if I needed that kind of care? I don't know. And I don't know if I'd want him to do it because it was all consuming. I was just fortunate that it happened at a period in my life where I could devote that time to her. and that I had a supportive husband. But if it had happened at any other time, I don't know that I could have taken care of her. It's weird how things work out in the right timing. But I just don't know. And like I said, I don't know. We just assume women are naturally more nurturing, but that's not always the case. Because I have seen some men that have been able to take care of their mothers as they get sick, and they've taken care of their spouses and stuff. So it's not all men. I don't want to say that, because like I said, I'm not a nurturer by nature, and I was scared. I was terrified. I was freaking, and everybody knew, my family knew it, so they were shocked when I ended up taking her in.
Yeah.
Because they're like, because I let everybody know, no, don't ask me, no.
Right.
I know I can't do it. I just
and
know
you were having a career and a big family and all of that.
And
I think we say mainly women because we're kind of just raised that way. We're raised to be more of the people pleasing than the men are, at least back in our day. But so it's kind of ingrained, but still there's some of us who just, there is kind of an innate thing to it, where you kind of expect, you kind of see what's going to happen before it happens, kind of a caregiver who can really, and not, because I think if you're not really a caregiver, it's going to make you sicker because it's not in your nature as much.
right.
That's another thing to get into it too. If it's something that just gives you joy, that's different.
Right.
I haven't seen it very much because really it is that taxing that you get yourself sick. If you don't,
I mean, I had to put my life totally, completely on hold, 100%. No social engagements, no traveling, but then we had the lockdown, and that kind of helped, except that during that lockdown period, there was no respite nurses. Nobody would come to the house.
Oh,
so I didn't get any help
think about that
period of time. But my daughter was here then. And so she helped me. I don't know what I would have done without her. Honestly, she's an angel. But I don't know that I could do it again. I would definitely try. For anybody in my family, I would want to be there, especially if I knew they had nowhere else to go. But I'm not kidding myself. I'm 64. It was hard, when I was younger doing this, because I got my sister when I was 55, and I was in I wasn't as sick at the time when I first got her. And then my health went downhill fast.
I can't imagine doing it because I'm 55. I can't imagine doing it right now, what you did. And I want to say this about you. Even during that time, I didn't know as much that I didn't know you were struggling so much. Whoa, Diana, get it together. And you even you were still taking care of things even outside. You were taking the bulletin. You were just this.
Oh yeah, that's right. I met you and we were in a ladies group. That's right. I tell everybody about that. Can I tell that story? I just love that story. Because I run a couple community Facebook sites, and it's a big site in our community. It's the biggest one. And that's how I met Diana, and we were starting a ladies group. And we wanted to have a meeting, and you offered to let us have our meeting at your house, which I thought was really cool. And you didn't tell me that you were a bazillionaire at the time. I didn't know. So I drive up. I knew right away when I got into the neighborhood. I was like, oh my God, the $1 million homes. And then when I pulled up in front of your house, I was like, oh God, please don't let this be home. Don't let this be her house. It was too fancy.
Really?
I was like, oh my God, she never said she was like this. So, but then I came in here and it was beautiful, and you were wonderful and amazing. And I had no idea you were very humble, and you would never know. But I just was like floored when I went in there. I was like, I felt out of place because, I don't think I'd ever been in anybody's home that was as well off as you were. And, but it was, anyway. And I was just so grateful that you had the house. I was the whole time. Remember, you had the birds, and the birds had their own room.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
It was so cool. But anyway, and that was back then. And, I had my sister. I'd just gotten my sister, but we were doing ladies groups.
Right.
We'd started a ladies group, and I was social back then, and I still had a life, and I was teaching the classes and stuff. But little did I know my life was about to change.
during when you were taking care of your sister, you did do a group because you helped with the homeless
Yeah, I was
group,
doing the homeless.
and then you did a
Yeah.
special needs party that was beautiful. And then
Oh
you
yeah, I forgot.
you do, and you have this magnet. I mean, your YouTube channel is incredible. Like you have this, you're so incredible. I just love you to pieces. I am so happy to know you, and I'm not that rich. Not
Well, your
anymore.
spouse is.
No,
Are you partner?
my part. Yeah, he
Yeah,
kind
your
of.
partner.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
yeah,
no.
I did used to do a lot of stuff, and I forgot. George has got a question.
Okay.
Oh, good question, George. Good
Wait, there
question.
was a question before him. Darn it, we missed it.
What? Oh, what? Was there another one?
Check the one right before his, because I wanted to touch on that one. It
Okay,
said,
because we'll get back to that then. Let's see. I'm trying to find
but
it.
good to see you, George.
It's not going. Great. Now I lost all of them. I don't
No.
know.
Well, please, if you're still listening, put that comment again that we missed. But yes, how did you get your own health
Darn it.
back? Oh yeah. Tell us
Now I
that
lost
story.
them. Darn it.
Oh,
Okay, let me see. Yeah, because I'm not finding it. If you asked a question before that,
yeah, I remember it. I wanted to touch on it. But
yeah,
you were
just put a
edifying me, so
QQ in front of it. I'm looking through. I can't see. Let's see. But anyway, I'll answer George's questions. Ooh, your wife
yeah.
had 5 back surgeries during COVID. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Well, George knows my story on that. Yeah, I was really, really sick and 100 pounds overweight because, 7 years of staying home, I piled on the weight. I got really sick and my hemoglobin went down to 6.2, I think. I was very weak. And I thought if I just changed my diet, so I was trying all these different diets, nothing was working. And then I stumbled on the carnivore diet, which I thought was absolutely crazy, but I was so sick and I needed to try something and it was doable for me. The carnivore diet was very doable at that time. And well, you've seen Diana, it changed my life. I lost like 60 pounds, my hemoglobin, my iron came up. It transformed my world because I'd had lap band surgery 10 years ago to lose weight. I've done everything, and I couldn't lose the weight. Nothing worked until I tried carnivore because I'm a sugar addict and I couldn't kick the sugar. None of the other diets, all the other diets allowed you to have some sugar. And it's a drug for me, not for everybody, but for me, it's a drug. So I can't have just a little, I can't have any, but no other diet helped me kick it. Carnivore, because it's high protein, high fat, actually it's satiating and it allowed me to kick the sugar habit. And once I kicked the sugar habit, that's when everything changed. All the inflammation left. I was in no pain. I had energy. It just transformed my life. I can't talk enough good about it, but I know I've had a lot of people, do other diets and that work well for them. So I'm not telling everybody it's the only diet. I'm just saying it's the only diet that's worked for me. I'm 64. I've had surgery and nothing worked for me like the carnivore diet. It was easy. I needed something easy. And all you do is you eat meat when you're hungry, meat, cheese, eggs. And, it transformed my life. It gave me my life back because I had inflammation really bad. I had a couple knee injuries and I had broken my tailbone. And so I walked with the cane and it got really bad. And my family's very outdoorsy. They go hiking and camping. I couldn't do it anymore until I started doing carnivore and the pain left. And it blew my mind to not be in pain after being in so much pain and bedridden and even on pain meds and going through physical therapy. It just went away with carnivore one day. I just noticed I wasn't in pain and I kept waiting for it to come back and it never did. Yeah. And so I'll always be grateful that it was meant for me and my body. That's all I know. And my numbers are good. My cholesterol's good. My blood pressure's good. My iron count's good. So yeah, that's how I got my health back. Wow. And thank God I did because I was at death's door. Honestly, Diana, I was ready. I don't think I probably would have been around another year or two. I asked my daughter, she knows I was in bed dying. And they would beg me, my
Oh
husband
my
and her.
gosh.
She was crying, Mom, you have got to go into the hospital. You're dying. I was white. My lips were white, and I couldn't even, but I was still taking care of my sister. And I don't even know how I did it. I was just a mess.
And see, you did get sicker, and you found something that got you back your health. And I think that's a way to take care of yourself. Is to
Right.
that diet is so important. I cringe because I was vegan and I was, in a
Yeah, I've been
monastery and
vegan.
all of that. And for me to eat total meat, but you've inspired me because I've seen it in your face and your glow and your energy, even though you did so much back then. And even, I didn't see you, we didn't keep in connect too much when you were taking care of your sister, because it was all
Right,
you,
right, right.
my words, it was all, you just didn't have the time. And then
Hi,
I was
Kathleen.
crazy with my person too, moving to
Yeah,
Utah
yeah.
and
We
then
both
to
had so much
Nevada.
going
Then
on,
I'm
right?
so glad
Right.
we're connected. But I do see this glow in you. It's different, and it's the diet. And people do cringe at an all meat diet,
Oh God,
but
I
it makes
did.
sense. It's so hard to do a diet with all the signs and the fast food around us. I've been eating
Oh my
nothing
God,
but fast
right?
food this last
Right?
week, and I'm sick to die. My
Well,
hands
I
going
fell off
numb.
the wagon. I fell off of it after 9 months of being clean and sober. That's what it
Did
feels like.
you?
I was clean and sober from sugar. And then my precious granddaughter came to visit for the summer. And because I'm a good grandma,
Oh,
right? This was my excuse. I took her to
okay.
Dairy Queen and Starbucks. And guess who started back? It was just like putting heroin in
It's
front of
so
me.
hard. Oh,
Yeah.
Dairy
So
Queen. Oh,
I'm ketovore now. I'm trying to get back to doing carnivore. I'm doing ketovore,
yeah.
and I don't feel as good. I need to do full carnivore to have the energy that I did. Remember, I was superwoman.
Yeah.
I loved feeling that way. I want to feel that way again. It gave me just
Yeah.
endless energy. And at my age, that's very important. And I felt like I probably could live another 20 years, 30 years. And so now that's a concern. Am I going to be in good health? I don't want to live another 20, 30 years unless I'm in good health. I want a
Right.
quality of
Oh
life,
gosh.
and I used to always think my husband's going to outlive me because he's a health nut. He always has been. He's always been physically
Mhm.
fit. He's always worked out, always. But he has some genetic problems that, it's not his fault. He inherited some heart issues, unfortunately. And
Mhm.
so now we realize maybe I could outlive him. And it's like, I what kind of life will I have though? What kind of life will he have? Will he get sicker? Will he need my help? Will I have to be a caregiver? Of course I would in a minute. I wouldn't even think about
Yeah.
that. I would do it because I know what's involved. But if the roles were reversed, if he had to take care of me, I don't know that I would even want him to because, like I said, there's a
Mhm.
lot involved. I had to give my mom shots. I hated that. I
Do you,
hated having to give her shots.
oh, your mom. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
give her shots every day. And she had a trach.
Oh, oh, she
We had to
did.
clean that out. And
Oh.
yeah, there was just so much involved and things that I never would have thought I'd have to do. But
Mhm.
yeah, you got to think about that stuff. Caregiving is not easy. It's not for the
Mhm.
faint of heart. That's for sure.
And if you were to think, okay, to do something about
Thanks,
it right
George.
now, to do something about it and say, okay, let's say I did get sick, who is going to take care of you? And to really think of that.
Yeah,
Do you know?
I like I said, I know
Because you
my
wouldn't.
daughter would want to, but I would not want her to because she's worked too
Yeah.
hard for her career, and I wouldn't want to put
Yeah.
her in that position. So
Yeah.
it would make me feel bad, even though I would love it. I love my daughter and stuff. I wouldn't want anybody to. It would it would take a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want
Yeah.
to put anybody through that. But at the same time, I'm not rich. I couldn't afford a good home.
Right. Right.
So I don't know. Maybe I'd go to Oregon. Isn't that where they, you can choose how long you want to live or
Yes.
whatever? Yeah, maybe
I
I do
get it.
something
I
like
get where
that.
you're going.
Yeah,
I'm kind of feeling that way too.
yeah. You
But
got
for
to think
right
about
now,
that.
okay, for right now, your health is good and you found the diet to get yourself back from being a caregiver. And you do kind of have to look at the moment where you're going through too. We can only do so much. We can only prepare so much. We don't know what the future is. You kind of just have to prepare the best you can, but get knowledge, get informed, talk to, there's so many, I'm sure there's YouTube channels out there. I need to look into it more now, because, and my channel is mostly about the neurodiverse relationship, but I am diving into more of the caregiving and everything I went through with my parents. So,
and I did want to touch on that a little bit. I know we were mainly talking about caregiving, but I just feel like your channel is important because, you and I have talked, and a lot of people, it seems like more and more people are being diagnosed being on the spectrum these days. A lot of people suspect that they're on the spectrum. I have, and you talk a lot about that, and about being with a partner and not knowing until after you've fallen in love and you're involved that maybe there's something different about this person. And I just thought that was so interesting. And that's what that book was, Lonely in Love, where these women were with partners that they had no idea were autistic.
Right. And I'll touch on it a little bit, because I know that, it is my heart and soul, because I live it every day.
So interesting to me.
But what was so my drive for my Lonely in Love was that so many people have divorced angry and say he's a narcissist, when in the reality is so important to really look at the situation now, because it can mimic the narcissism. When we think of a person with narcissism, we think, oh, get away, they're horrible. And we think of an autistic person, oh, they're horrible. But we don't realize that some of the self-centered type of issues with the mind blindness and all those things, where it's hard for them to go outside of themselves, they look to be narcissistic. So that just brings so much anger that doesn't need to be there, and more compassion. You don't excuse bad behavior. I'm always saying that on all my videos, but to understand brings that compassion. It lowers your blood pressure. To understand what's going on. Understanding is the very foundation of love. That's from Thich Nhat Hanh.
I love that.
So that is what I talk about. But I am going to dive more into just the dysfunctional families, what happened when I was a caregiver. There's so much to that, and so much more to talk about, because it's a lot of things we don't talk about. We don't talk about the moving to heaven part. We don't talk about that stuff that's so important, or what happens inside of our homes to be healthy. We kind of we'll stay in that denial until it's too late. And I've just heard so many horror stories. So with my little tiny bit of whatever I've learned, I want to talk about.
Well, I just, like you said, I really appreciated your book, because like I said, I've always suspected that I might be on the spectrum, and then my daughter, she thought the same thing. I guess maybe a lot of us do these days, because, it is becoming more and more common.
I'm getting checked in December for everything, because I've had people say, well, how do you know you're not autistic when you're saying that you're not, and your partner is? It's very different in women. But we're also, we're on that pendulum swing, I think. We're labeling everybody now. Like,
it's like everybody was a narcissist, remember?
We're all narcissists.
Everybody's a narcissist.
But it's what I always go back to is, a disability is something that affects you, and I'll just say the word negative for lack of a word, that really affects your life, that makes things hard. That's when a diagnosis is helpful. But all of us, I can be quirky and not autistic. I can wear some weird clothes and not be autistic.
Right.
Or I can be autistic and wear the weird clothes and still be awesome. It's just, it's whatever.
But, also though, you can be autistic and still be okay.
Of course.
It's not mentally handicapped like a lot of people think it is.
The biggest thing is diagnosing when you're younger, because then you can get the right tools. If you're never diagnosed, you end up with my poor partner, who was just put down his whole life. Can imagine, because he was different. And we've had it, the bullies, all of that. It affects your life in such a negative way. And so you start to form this personality in order to fight back. And that's when it gets you a little angry with the world. And that's why it's so difficult to be in any relationship and all of that.
This new channel that I just found, I talked about it in one of my recent videos. It's about this young girl. She lives in Tokyo. She's like in her 30s, but she's from California.
With the pink hair?
Yes.
I looked her up last night.
She's autistic.
I was looking for my pink extensions to
I know. I should have worn mine, but she has pink and purple. But I think the reason I was attracted to her is because she's autistic. And I knew it when I started watching her. I could tell, even though she's really cool and everything, but she talked about it and I could see it. You know, when you know what to look for, I could see the signs. I thought she seems like
it's very hopeful now because kids are getting diagnosed and more of the understanding with the people don't say high function anymore. I don't even know if we say mild anymore. It keeps changing. But what we used to call Asperger's, very mild autism, is just understanding that difference in the brain for that young person so they can grow up in a loving situation instead of a fighting.
Yeah. And because we're constantly, because, you know, we deal with
trying to be normal.
And and expecting them to behave a certain way when they literally can't.
Just can't.
Their brain just doesn't. And, you know, instead of being angry at them and resentful, you know, it helps you to understand them. And then you get the tools so that you can deal with it better. And for that reason.
When you don't understand the nuances from somebody else. So if I go into a room crying, I want him to come after me and comfort me. He's not going to do that. He doesn't know to do that unless I tell him. And a lot of us resent that.
Yeah.
And then what happens is he's just sitting there, just not knowing what to do. He just doesn't know what to do. You have to tell him. And that's a big part of it. And
exactly. Yeah.
So much. Do we have any more questions?
You know, it's just.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Did we ever find that one?
No, darn. I forget what it was. I should have wrote it down. I want to talk about, so did we talk about wait a minute.
Feelings?
We could talk about the aftermath, but I don't know how long you want to go. It's been an hour. We could talk about the aftermath what happened?
Nothing. I don't usually go this long.
Yeah, you know, when we get started talking.
I know, but
can you see Pepper?
Oh, he's bored to death. He's like, okay, Mom.
I got them that nice little throw last night. It's real.
Oh, that looks good. You got the room set up. That's cool. So do you have a space now? You got a space set up?
So. So I like it. Where to put myself.
I like it. Can you tell where I'm at? This is a really weird setup.
You're in your house with your tree.
Really?
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of your Christmas. You're gonna come over and decorate my house.
I'm in my entryway.
Really?
Well, yeah, because this is when you walk in my front door, the tree's right here.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted you guys to see my tree, and there's nowhere to sit. So I have a portable desk, literally. And I just put my desk out here, and I'm right here. I knew nobody was going to be coming in through the front door, but yeah, because I wanted to see. And remember, I told you the lighting is terrible because the sun's coming in.
Yeah.
So I can't see at all. That's why I was having a hard time even seeing what people are saying. I'm blinded by the sun right here. But yeah, I'm in my living room. I just thought I wanted to have a nice backdrop. I worked hard on that. I want to be able to
Oh, I know.
Well, I want to thank everybody that came in when I was growing up. Ritalin, fixed air. Oh, I know, right? How many people did my kids' friends? Everybody was on Ritalin. Remember? That was. Did they do that still? Do they still put people on Ritalin?
I don't know if it's Ritalin, but I just had an interview with the doctor. The video is going to come out soon if I ever get moved in and done. It's taken me, I've been here 2 weeks. I don't know. He said that the medication they use for ADHD is good for autism, the mild autism. And I was going to talk to my partners because of the high anxiety that happens with autism.
That girl that I was watching, she had mentioned something about being on ADHD medicine for her autism. It helps with, and I was like,
it really does. Yeah. And it's just the anxiety, the high anxiety of
Now, does he have that? Does he have high anxiety?
Oh, absolutely.
The people that I know.
All autism, because autism, you're just very, very sensitive to things, sensitive to touch, sensitive to the environment.
I got it. I know I got it.
The ear. Stop
I knew
it.
it. I am the most anxious person I know. My God. See, there it is.
See, no, that doesn't mean you're
autism. I
It
knew
doesn't
it.
mean that you're
I'm narcissistic. I got anxiety. I got it all. I just know it. Watch.
Now people are going to be mad that we're joking about this, but we're not.
You can't
We're
make
just
light of it. But
we're just
we
being
know a lot
lighthearted.
of people with it. I know
Well,
a
we do.
lot of people. What did I tell you when I first met you? I was reading. It was like 1 in 6 kids nowadays is being diagnosed with it. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And they're
That's
saying
really
it's from the foods. For a while, they were saying, I think I'm
well,
a squirrel. Guys.
what she said? What?
I lose my train of thought really easy.
Oh, squirrel.
But,
That's an
a lot of
ADHD
people are
thing.
saying, it's from the foods and injections, the vaccines. There's different theories. I don't know if any of those are true, but that's what they're saying. It's not.
Okay. No,
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what causes it. But I think you know what? Remember what we were saying though? If you were raised with somebody that had it, you will mirror them.
You'll get the traits. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's
you're not necessarily yourself, but
if you're raised by someone who's narcissistic, you have those traits. I call it narcissistic residue because I kind of have that. I've worked on that a lot in my life I call it, well, it's my own term, narcissistic residue, because you're so used to that. And if you're grown up with that, and there's beautiful Patrick Tehan, he talks about childhood, living with a parent that's narcissistic, crappy childhood fairy. She's really good with that. And I've listed a lot of them. Dr. Ramani talks about narcissism, and it's, there's a lot out there on narcissism. And what's happening now is that we're looking at our autistic partners and saying, oh, they're narcissism, because that's what we're learning more about that than the autism. We have to be so careful. And I think that's what my channel is about. It's so baffling to me that people don't know what the Cassandra syndrome is. And
I know I still get it wrong.
I'm the only one that's doing it so there's other people, and there's doctors and therapists, but they don't really go inside of the home of what happens. But,
well, that's why I want people, because I've had several subscribers talk about thinking they're on the spectrum, or that suspecting their partner's on the spectrum. That's why, I would like them to check your channel out,
that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've got a lot of good information.
I can do. And it's all from talking to other, I call us Cassandras. It's all from talking to other Cassandras is what I've learned, and I have the time to do it. And I'm just so grateful that I do. And I've learned just from them. And
I really should promote your book, Lonely in Love, because that book, just even if you weren't, it's such an interesting book, because it's all these different women that didn't know they were married to a guy that was on the spectrum, and they're sharing their stories, and they were all so relatable. You're like, it was crazy. And it was just interesting. It was like, because a lot of these guys were charismatic, and they're, all these things, but then they're different. It was
so often they're very intelligent, and they've learned how to wear a mask because they have to in order to survive this insane, nuance-filled world. And so that's how they do it. And we don't know.
And that's why, it's really important. So if you guys know anybody that's, you think or suspect might be on this spectrum, can I even say that? Because they change. What did it used to be before? It was autism.
Oh, it was Asperger's. It was Asperger's. And Asperger's is autism. They only changed it because it just has a really negative tone from who discovered it.
Right.
I won't get into it, but it was just. So, and people, you'll still find books with the word Asperger's, just so you kind of know, because it feels like it's a different branch. It feels so different from autism, but it's all of the ways they've had to mask all of their life to even, I got a comment about, what if they're just masking narcissism in order to survive? Because we look at, especially men, that it's popular to be self-centered.
I was just going to say that. I'm seeing that more and more. Everybody's like, I'm autistic. It's like, but are you? Is that just your behavior?
We're kind of, I don't know. We're a little bit all over. But I also want to. I really want to promote my channel also is just talking about families and dysfunction and all of the above. And to
Right.
just
Right.
talk, I want to talk about
Right.
what we go through, because we've had this kind of society where we have to hide. We don't, share your dirty laundry. Don't let anybody know. Everything's fine. And it just makes us miserable, I think.
Right.
I could be
Right.
wrong, but,
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I think, your channel is so great. And that's why it blew up so fast. I mean, you just started a minute
Well,
ago, you know?
I see, I keep thinking, no, it's not enough. It's not.
No, your channel blew up really fast, because it was needed. That's not a niche that's
Yeah,
um
it is.
oversaturated.
I'm so I am just still shocked that there's not. It's a hard thing to talk about too, though.
And that's the problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
people are listening, but they are not necessarily talking. And I
Yeah,
know
and
you would.
a lot of us don't have the language to say what we need to say in a way that's not judgmental or harmful or ableist or what, all those horrible words where we don't mean it. We just don't have the words to figure it all out.
Right, right. We're all just learning together. So,
I know.
but yeah, no, I think you're doing great. And I like that you're taking it in kind of a different route. You're
Yeah.
encompassing more, just
Because I'd like to
dysfunctional
involve
relationships.
men. If I'm Cassandra's sister, I'd like to hear from men. Men have the
Right.
narcissistic partner or the autistic partner or the
Yeah,
whatever. All of us,
that's
or we have our
something.
moms or our dads or our.
You
It's
never hear from a
everybody.
guy that's with a woman that's on the spectrum. At least not, I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't?
No, it's
I've
always
had two. So I've talked
really.
to hundreds of. I can say hundreds now. It's been a few years. Two. And one was going to be in my book, and he just
Was
couldn't do it.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. But
Huh.
yeah, two. It's more rare, but it's more just men and the way they're raised, the way everything, it just kind of gets overblown, the self-centeredness and all of that. So we struggle more. And in a relationship with autism, if you're not diagnosed young, if you're not given the tools, the relationship's going to be harder no matter what. That is a reality in autism because of that. We want, in a relationship, it's all about give and take and reciprocity and all that. And they don't know how to do that and don't
Right.
have the capacity sometimes to do that because it is a disability.
Right.
But yeah, and
the partner thinks it's their fault. It's like, oh, obviously they just don't love me, and that's why they're not reacting this way.
We're still used to all the Hallmark channels and what it's supposed to be, and they're supposed to come and comfort me when I'm crying. No, they're not supposed to go out and go to a bar when I'm sick with the flu.
Right?
That didn't happen or anything. Yeah, it did.
No. So then you think it's you. Obviously, you're not lovable enough.
And it's really them. They are so up here. Like, for an example, taking you back from the hospital, there's the stress of the hospital and the lights and all the people and having to fill out the paperwork. And then they bring you home and then they're just going to escape. Otherwise, they're going to blow up. But you're home and you've got your, you can't even pee by yourself, and they leave you. I'm sorry, that was a little graphic. That's how extreme it can be. You have to know that they can't do it. And I want to end the channel back on the caregiving part and the aftermath, and that still you need help after your person that you've been caring for has passed. And that part is really important also. It's all encompassing because they could become so part of your life. And I always come back to finding a good therapist through all of it. And I just wanted to end on that because it's something that can be life-saving, and especially your health. A therapist can point out, hey, I don't think you're doing well. Let's do something. And I think that's a big part of self-care, is to find the right therapist to help you through it. I just wanted to mention that because we didn't say that too. And since we're talking about mental health too.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I love therapy. I think everybody should be in therapy. It's just it's so cool. I mean, it's so helpful. They give you the right tools because we don't always know, and communication is key. To do that.
And there's going to be not so good ones. You have to really, it took me about, 10, no, not that many, but there's hardly anybody that understands a neurodiverse relationship. That's a tough one. But caregiving, there's a lot of good therapists out there for that, and caregiver groups. And even though it might be a lot of them are religion based, and a lot of them, whatever you can find, go to your church. If you go to a church, just ask for help. Get that help. You can't do it alone.
Right. You know, and a lot of us try, and I failed miserably. I wished I would have.
Thank you. But you did. Your health suffered.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if I had known to reach out, and I had done that earlier, you know, things would have gone differently for me. But everything happens in life for a reason, right? I wouldn't be here today.
I know.
YouTube, and I wouldn't have found the carnivore diet, you know. So I just look at
because you make lemonade out of lemons. That's how we roll.
Right? That's all you can do. So I've been really.
You make lemonade out of turnips.
Right?
You do the impossible. We do the impossible. Yeah.
But thank you, Diana. I really appreciate you coming on, and thank you guys. I wish I would have seen some more of the questions, but I'm in my entryway and the sun is really in my eyes. And did I tell you I sat on my glasses? I did, right? And these glasses, they're weak. I literally cannot see. I don't know if I've got boogers on my nose or anything.
I'm sorry to laugh, but you're so cute.
It's going to be terrible afterwards. I just know it. But anyway, I can't see. I'm blind right now. But I'm just so grateful for you guys. DJ Kathleen, Olivia, Sheila, George. If I'm forgetting you, I'm sorry. I'm trying so hard to see. But I'm just so grateful for you guys joining us. It was a lot of fun. Diane and I can talk forever. We'll tell you. You know, I could go on, but
are we doing Uber tonight?
Yeah. Did you want to go out?
Yes.
It's gonna rain. We probably won't get anything, but it'd be good to catch up. Okay. You want to meet like at 4:30 down by McDonald's? Yeah. No boogers. Good. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't been going out and doing Uber because the weather. You know, which probably would have been a good time to go because less people want to go out and get food.
It's a good time, but you're there with your food and it's pouring rain and they give you a $5 tip and you're wondering, why the heck am I doing this?
Thank you, Olivia. I'm glad you came. I know. I was like, you know what's going to happen. The last couple times we've gone out, I've gotten like one order. It sucked, man. It's been terrible. So, but Thursday nights are usually pretty good. So we'll go and we'll chit chat tonight. So, okay, we got like 4 hours. I'll meet you down by McDonald's.
Oh my gosh, 4 hours. Okay.
It's a date. Okay, guys. Okay. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you guys. Now I'm going to try and end the stream and not look like an idiot like I usually do.
You never look like an idiot. You always look lovely in every way.
Oh, you're just my friend.
I'm so in love with you.
I love you. Thank you.
Did I say that? I said I'm in love with you. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. It's creepy. Are you sure you want to meet me? Okay. Bye. I think I'm going to end.
Was that still live?
Now I got to hit another button. I'm still here.
Wait.